Hey guys, welcome. Today we're talking about Beyblade and a lot of it. Today I'm joined with
Jet Harris and Feroth Dragonoid, also by Inferno Blaze. Today, as you guys may have already know, or for those of you that don't, the Beyblade Burst is out online on the computer. We're not going to be getting it for a very long while not too long of a while.
December.
Shouldn't be too long.
December, yeah. Oh, this month?
This month.
Yeah, great.
coming XD, right?
Yeah. Disney XD. All right. It's gonna be released on Disney XD. I've seen the dub. It's really great. I also seen the sub. It's really awesome. Feroth Dragonoid has seen the dub. All 8 episodes that are currently out.
I'm about to start watching the sub. So
Watched the sub alongside of me, and it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but as far as main characters concerned, Volt is.
okay.
Oh, so this is the debate we were talking about, right?
Yeah, we're talking about main characters in general, but we're gonna get into a general debate about, of course, the old generation versus the new generation now, and kind of leading into
debate.
like how things like kind of grow.
Debate.
I was talking about Brian.
Yeah, we talked for like an hour in the car,
in the
just
car,
about this
and
entire thing. It's insane, but yeah, the fact that Beyblade has done this shift, and it's substantial. But if you want to continue, you can explaining just the main character and
so
how he's different from
other main characters.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna. I mean, a little bit of a disclaimer. This is gonna be a general opinion. So if you guys do get pissed,
it's an opinionated podcast, subjective to all.
Just listen before you write your preemptive counter argument.
There we go. Yeah, be ready for those.
And type like a 30-page paragraph that we probably might not care to read as much. Please keep it at like 2 pages.
Exactly.
Or at least like
30 seconds of.
If I have to read, John, I would have to read like a half an hour.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
What did you just do?
The chair.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get started. Let's first talk about. Let's start talking about Volt and how he is.
Okay.
All right.
Volt is an interesting main character, I can say.
Okay.
He was, unlike the past main characters we have, he himself was not a good blader. And we can all say that.
Yeah.
He was not trash, but he couldn't launch in the ring the first episode. That surprised me and made me think this would be an interesting series. Because from the past, we've had Tyson and Jinka and Zero. Not really Tyson, but Jinka and Zero just hopped into the story. We're this amazing blader that we've beaten so many people throughout our journeys, and Volt was just this kid with a bay that wanted to have fun with his friends, and that made him an interesting character.
Yeah,
Right.
I kind of agree with that. Feroth, do you have anything to say or add?
All I had to say was like his first couple of wins were like so main character priority bullshit for me. Like, because I mean, like, there was a pattern to how he won. Like he would lose one, and then
recover,
he would come back, and then he would recover after that recovery, and then like with a burst. Right. So I'm just like, okay, yeah. So he lose one, then burst. Oh, I win, lose, win, burst, lose, burst, lose, burst. And I'm just like, okay, are they really doing this? And then to top, like, I mean, from the very first episode, or like the very either the first or second episode where he had to, battle his friend, and then he had to battle in the tournament, and Veltriak tilts his hand for him. Ugh. I'm just saying that was like,
dub names are disgusting, by the way.
that was like
I hate the dub names. Oh my god, they're so trash.
But hold on. I'm just saying that was just like main character priority bullshit right there.
I can
the Bay
that.
leading his hand. I'm just like, okay. The boy can't learn on his own. His Bay has to do it for him. And even then, he's not really talking to his Bay.
You got it.
Oh my god, these names of these Bays. The dub names. Valtriak, Spryzen, Rocktavor. You had real names in the Japanese. It was Spriggan. A Spriggan is an actual thing. Valkyrie is an actual thing. Ragnarok is an actual thing. And they're like, no, we're going to have Rocktavor and Valtriak V2. Like, that I could understand in the old gens when they were just like numbers and they weren't real names, but this is just horrible.
It's absolutely positively gross. Yeah, those dub names are really freaking terrible. But let's see, what else? What did we cover?
Character wise.
Oh yeah, still back to main character. Like, well, I like him personally. He's a different spin, like you said. You know, I did not. He was kind of. He didn't know how to launch his bay right. First episode launches out of the stadium. It falls into the freaking the supply closet.
Right.
Beltran. Well, I heard the dub.
Beltran. That's just those improper names. In
I like the dub voices.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just the names were just really terrible.
Yeah. Best American trans. Let's change the names because America. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Stupid.
So, I feel like Volt has kind of, he's kind of growing on me a little bit. Yeah. And he grows on you. You know, he's the type of blader that's not really good, but he gets better through every battle he's going through. Yeah, there's the little pattern of how he wins in tournament, but he has a set of challenges and loses.
But yeah, this is falling into kind of spoiler territory. But this is not like main
can talk
spoilers. But so he later on he doesn't unlike our past main characters when they finally lose in like episode 30 or 40 or something, and they're finally like, oh, this is their first loss. Vault lost. He lost real early on, like probably like episode 1 he loses because that's how we're supposed to introduce him. Mm-hmm. But later on he loses like other characters that get introduced into the show, and they're like, oh well, Vault is this amazing character. He's gonna blow this person back too. But no, they end up winning, and then you're like,
wow.
Well, okay then.
Yeah.
And then his rival, Shu, he is also like one of the spin emperors, the top 4 people in the world, and he loses to random people. And I'm like, okay, so this show isn't so power driven as the other ones, as in the main character and his rivals can't be beaten by random people, which they can be, as we've seen in the show.
I mean, those random people must be strong. You're going to be able to.
The best thing about a main character losing is that I can gain a lot of character development and growth, and that's one of the great things about this, unlike prior characters. So this is really good.
Yeah. So, all right. So now that's a great way to transition to what
compared to
other main characters. Now, let's first start with. I'm just gonna break it down for you guys. I really freaking hate Jenga.
Oh, you're going with him? I thought you were gonna say Tyson.
All right, we're not gonna start with Tyson yet because some people actually consider Volt to remind them of Tyson a little bit.
I'm not. I don't really see it.
To some degree, but it's just from what other opinions I've heard.
Maybe in an eye, maybe like in his eye. I don't really see it as him. But like, here's like a same topic though. I mean, like it's the same thing, but like we're talking about the same show. The Bay Beasts, some of them didn't really get me. Like my favorite Bay right now is Spriggan, but when I saw the Bay Beast itself, it did not look nothing close to a Spriggan. I'm just like, that's not a Spriggan. Like,
Ragnarok's not a beast either. It's an event.
That is true.
Actually, I'm just saying.
Nor was it a weapon, from what I understand. But like,
I'm just saying, like they didn't really. I mean, they could have just did some like culture shock research or something. Just like go into the background. Oh, what's a Spriggan? Let's do this. Oh, we can change it like this, make it look like that. I'm just saying.
But Ragnarok's a cool name, and they needed a beast for it.
Well, they could have made a beast. Heck, I could have drawn a beast for Ragnarok and make it look 10 times better than what they have. And Ragnarok or Rocknivore sucks. Sucks. Like he literally sucks. The Bay itself sucks. I'm just like,
Yeah, and in the show and in real life, that Bay is complete trash.
Yeah, real trash. I'm just like, I could have designed it better and make it better one. I'm just saying.
That's another thing I thought was stupid. Like them following up with the toy line. Just how can you make one Bay? Just so bad,
one Bay specifically.
Like some Bays have their trait, but when you have a stamina type that can't take 2 hits, you're just there's no point in using.
There's like I bet there's someone in the world right now that's trying to main him and just like prove to everyone that this Bay is awesome.
He
but
better
then
be
like
customized because his original piece is just trash.
You gotta modify.
I modified it and it was okay, but his original pieces are
In
just
terms of
trash.
base, yeah. No.
So
But yeah, we were talking about comparing the two characters.
Right.
Tyson and
want to talk about want to start with Tyson and
Yeah, we'll start with like the.
I mean,
first gen.
okay,
First
for
gen
for looks, they both have blue hair. Obviously, they
You're
both
right.
have blue hair, and they got a little bit of red in their, in their outfits and stuff. You know, they do kind of look similar in a way. Just
Okay.
like but
character-wise,
personality-wise,
I guess like early Tyson is kind of like early Vault because he got like really upset when he lost, and Vault gets upset when he lost, and they try to beat the opponent by just using their sheer force or whatever. They're just like, oh well, I'm gonna win because of sheer main character luck, and you're like, if I try harder, I can win.
Technically, you're right, but here's where it differs. He was more about like the tech, like he's more about like that one technique.
Wait. Who are you talking about? So the listeners.
Vault. Obviously, Vault right here is more like, okay, this one technique, surefire win. I'm going to use this technique. Whereas my boy Tyson was like, I'm going to try all these different things to improve my skill and get better. Where he was like, okay, increase the launchers, the string launcher. The winder, increase the winder, go up at a certain angle and release, giving it extra power. So
then in the degree,
adding that,
have
Kenny. He was like
a
adding both
character
of them.
that was there to help Tyson, and he knew what stuff Tyson needed to be better. Vault has no help. Nobody is there to like show him how to do anything better. And when he found the rush launch, he ran it because he was, let's face it, he was trash without it. And then nobody else told him, hey, you could also do this. He only got another technique because somebody
accidentally hit him with a basketball in his back.
And then at the same time, nobody. From my standpoint of the first episode, nobody even knew that these different launch techniques freaking existed.
Right.
Well, maybe except for Shu. Shu's not going to go around and explain everything. Oh, you can do this.
You can be better than me if you do this. I won't be a spin emperor no more. I'm not telling you that.
Yeah, Shu's like, I'm in it for myself. I'm going to just casually try to help you.
The rush shoot is basically... It comes from a real life thing that we already know that's used in like Beyblade tournaments. It's originally called the sliding shoot, and it makes a flower pattern in the stadium, and it goes to the stadium center, and it's the bane of every stamina type ever.
It is.
It is.
That's why Ragnarok lost.
And it's a really great technique, but it was something we already knew. When the flash shoot came out, I was just like, this is pretty darn interesting. I thought it was just a normal ass launch at first.
That's one thing Beyblade Burst showed us is it's not like the original series how you would have battles with the bays on like gigantic outside in the field or something. They're just like going all crazy around here. Like this show is actually in stadiums. They're showing different techniques that you can do in real life, and it shows people that hey, this is a show, but it's an anime and it's like Beyblade before, but it's still just like you can play like as your favorite character. You can learn all the stuff they do and do it in real life.
So would you consider this more the everyman Beyblade show that you should probably check out?
It takes a more realistic standpoint from that, in my opinion.
And plus, not to mention, there was like the rumors going around that the old characters from the first generation anime is going to be going into the show, and their bays
into the show,
like they're going to be like fighting against each other at one point.
That was a rumor for a while.
Yeah. Like they even like you saw it through like the toys, right? They made a remake. Like,
they remade the toys because the manga they do have a manga that has come out called Beyblade Rebirth, I think. It was called something like that. It's basically it brings back Tyson in the other gang, and they have burst Beyblades, and I've showed you guys the manga about it.
There it is.
I should have it on Ruby, but yeah. So basically, they have their updated pretty much system, and they're battling like how normal battles would go with Beyblade Burst type rules, and what they're doing now is in Japan they're releasing the Ultra Generation Beyblades
as burst base. They've already released Trigger. And I think Draseel's next.
Draseel is coming. Yeah, should be coming either this month or.
I thought Jondra would be the next one.
Jondra just released last month.
Okay, then makes sense.
Jondra released last month, and I think
Draseel's gonna be.
Dragoon released after Trigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about my boy Shredder though? Shredder Dragoon.
I'm not so sure about that one.
They gotta bring him back.
That's actually a scary type thing, to be honest with you.
I would.
Why Shredder Dragoon scary?
I'm saying scary as in, boy, we do not need another Beyblade Burst Bay with more than 2 layers. We already seen what Excalibur can do. And if they decide to make a free spinning layer, out of the blue, let me just do a quick rundown about how they've done with layers so far. They've come out with a 3-layer Xeno Excalibur, practically. It's supposed to be the dual layer system, but it's freaking revolutionary. They have Zillion Zeus with
my boy.
Yeah. With the metal balls, just like how
Orion.
Jay Jupiter or
no, Ryan was free spinning. He just had pop.
Yeah, and what else? What other strides have they done that with their attack layers?
The triple. Triple has the 3 spots. I've never seen that on any type of metal series of Bay at all.
Triple
on the not the layer, the disc.
The disc. Yeah. Triple. Yeah, you don't necessarily see a metal wheel that in that shape at all. I guess.
It's the shape.
Well, actually, you don't see many oval wheels as well. You also Magnum is really good because it's the same thing as the 4D system, but instead of switching modes, it's completely one thing, plastic, metal, completely together. And it's great. It extends the size of the overall disc without changing too much of its weight.
Right.
And it does different things, and it's more Beyblade's getting more and more into how the combinations are built and how everything is performed, rather than this is just a gimmick. You have a claw,
right?
Right.
Sorry, Sagittario, but it doesn't really come in handy.
Speaking of claws,
all the time.
Things going back to dragons, going back to Stratadragoon, going back to the main topic.
Oh right, I am so sorry about that.
No, all 4 tips. Up to you.
But
we were talking about Daichi and bringing back Stratadragoon.
Daichi bringing back Stratadragoon. If they come out with it, it's gonna be way later.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they got to get out the main 4 first before they go into V-Force, which he was a sub character.
He wasn't even in V-Force. That's G Revolution.
Well, he was in the V-Force movie.
Right, he was.
And, he had, if they do his Bay from there, which was, the first Stratadragoon, it's going to be it's going to have 2 wings on it, they will probably have to do plastic / metal layer if they do, or disc, just to get the full effect of whatever they need to do.
Right.
And, because having the sub attack ring was Stratadragoon's special
bread and butter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, with the sub attack ring, love it.
It was also Galleon's at first. Galleon was kind of did it before Stratadragoon with the sub attack ring, but it wasn't as destructive.
Yep.
Yeah. Those are the burst variations right there.
Yeah.
I'll save this picture so that we have it just in general. When the video comes together, so I have this as a...
All right, so back to the main topic.
The main topic is
Tyson,
what was the main
Tyson
topic?
to Volt.
Tyson the Volt. Still, I think, and as far as personality, yeah, they do have moments where they do come together, but they do have moments where they differ. To whereas, they still have their own identity. They still get mad when they lose, but the way they go about,
How the way they go about
practicing
it.
to get better and get stronger can
It's different
have
than-
different intensities, I guess.
Right.
Because they still both train, but Volt has his big club to train with, but they don't really know too much about, I guess, combinations, if you will.
Speaking of type wise, they're like, well, not speaking of it, bringing it up. Only Dinah could really help him.
Yeah.
Because she was not really a part of them, and Dinah's the only person with an attack type bay to go with Valkyrie. So.
And
Or Daigo.
Daigo. I actually like the Daigo name. For the English one.
Daigo means king, and Dinah is nowhere near a king.
Yeah, but at the same time, Tyson he goes back. He's just like, damn, I really lost.
Right.
Let me grind some. Let me do these battles. Let me try to find a new technique, different launch, different everything. I need to change my entire strategy.
Exactly.
Right, he goes like to the books, like to the board, and just like, okay, this strategy trash, new one, let's go.
Yeah, we need.
And then he just develops a new strategy. That's what I like about it.
Completely mixes it up, and yeah, he may come up with Kenny may come in there to help,
Make
but
it
at least he has
faster,
Kenny
makes
come
it
in there to
stronger.
Right.
Like yeah.
And then we have...
It's a lot more development than... I know, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt it. And I know I'm talking very little, but from what you're talking about, obviously, it brings in a lot more development that you scratch everything, start from the top.
Right.
Yeah, and that was like
that's...
the first anime character.
Right
there. So like it's always like a learning curve with Tyson.
Even Volt has to remember the basics, but he's pretty much the only character that hasn't had a Kenny style character.
Right.
Yeah, every other character in the series actually had their own.
Zero had
Maru.
Maru, that's her name. Madoka for Jenga.
Yeah,
and
Kenny
for Tyson.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that
they
doesn't
all had
have
goggles.
Oh, God, they did.
They all had goggles.
Kenny
And the
looks like
computer and the
glasses.
laptop. They also had the laptop. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they all had the laptop. They all had.
Who
I swear.
Who couldn't love Dizzy though?
Yeah, Dizzy.
Dizzy was the best one.
Dizzy
was an actual baby, but she got stuck in the computer instead of the bay itself.
Right here.
Yeah.
So like her little story was actually fun. Like was the funny one. She's like, yeah, instead of landing in the bay, I landed in the computer. So this is me now. I'm a computer program. I'm fuck it, whatever.
Right.
But like Dizzy's personality and everything is awesome. If she was actually in the bay itself, that bay would have been awesome. Especially with the jumping, especially when it jumps. Yeah, she would have been a dick to like the other bays.
But then she would have been like Dizzy was her own character, but if you put her in the bay, she would have never spoke, so she would have never had that personality. We would have known her. We just knew, oh, there goes the beast. Okay.
Right.
I mean, if there was a way for him to transfer her to the bay and then back to the computer,
that would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
He would have been a better character. Kenny would have
Right.
become like an actual main blader probably, but that.
Yeah.
She would have been like a mean bay spirit to mess with.
A bay that actively jumps. What kind of bay is that? I remember that part from the anime.
Right.
What kind of bay is that? And then we get bays like Capricorn come out.
Oh man, these.
You know what's weird? Capricorn itself is like a really bad bay in most stadiums, but if you put it in like the Japanese burst stadiums, it is godly.
Yeah.
They have actual rings, so he can just bounce back from those rims and just keep coming back to him.
Yeah, I've seen some real
Which is actually amazing.
real
Actually,
stunts with
that's amazing.
with Capricorn. That was really hilarious. But I think it wasn't even Kenny that had the first jumping bay, but it was
some random character.
It was Trigal. It was Trigal.
No.
Trigal had a jumping base.
He did, but it was another character. He was not a main character. It was just like a random one-off character. But he was like a little salsa dancer, and he balanced and his bay would jump on you. And I was like,
and it would dance on your on the other person's bay while he was dancing. And I was like, yo, that was awesome. I was like, yo, it's like that. See, but Disney would have been like 10 times worse than that. Disney would have been 10 times worse than that, especially with all the
Star
stuff she
Blast
knows.
every day.
Oh, don't.
Not even a Star Blast. What are you talking about? What?
Every day of the week. But let's talk about Jenga for a
Oh, thank you. We bring up the worst of the four.
Jenga,
In
man,
my opinion.
freaking Jenga.
I don't like Jenga.
Well,
one
one
likes
thing that
Jenga.
we said earlier about Vault and about Tyson. Tyson would scrap everything and he would come back with a new technique or a new spin or something.
Right.
Well, Vault had Rush and then he learned to flash shoot and he would go launch or shoot and he would go back and forth between the two.
And training, and he would
Yeah,
also,
and he would also
train.
train. Jenga, sure, he trained sometimes. We've seen him train.
Wait,
But the main thing was...
we see him
unlike-
train like, what, 3 episodes?
3 episodes probably. But he literally just... If he would lose to somebody, he would not come back with more skill. He would not come back with just more training. He would come back with a new special move, and it would just help him win. And it was out of nowhere it came from. It would just, Pegasus is losing. I can't win that way. What am I supposed to do? Oh, if Pegasus speeds up, maybe I can do something with that. I created a vacuum? What?
Right, like it just
Yes.
like he special moves out his ass that
Let me
comes out of
just cut-
nowhere, and I'm just like, okay,
Let me just quickly describe to you what Jenga is.
Jenga is a freaking.
I'm gonna drag this out. I'm gonna drag this out for like a little, just a tiny bit, because I want to go to each freaking special move.
That's my boy.
Let's do.
He
Let's
would
go
have
with
been a
Storm
better
Pegasus.
main character right here. What's his name?
Oh, Masamune.
Yeah, Masamune would have been
I'm
a
making
better.
his Bay in a burst version of it. I'm making a burst version of his Bay with.
He would have been a better main character.
Oh,
like,
don't let
legit.
Unicorn or Extreme beat you to it though.
Wait, I should do that.
Yeah, totally.
Put Extreme on Unicorn. That would be awesome.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about Storm Pegasus. Storm Pegasus, Star Blast attack was quite literally a cop out for every time he would almost lose. It was quite literally a full counter on a very tiny little scale. Tiny little scale. All right, I'm gonna get a stadium out. Great, knocks him in the air.
It's a Schultz.
Haha.
It's a Schultz counter.
No, it's not a Shulk counter. Because with Shulk's counter, let me tell you, sir, I play Smash. With Shulk's counter, I can choose not to hit you. I can choose to completely either hit you with it or completely kill you with it. I get to pick and choose. I get to choose my fate. This dude, out of the blue, gets hit into the air. He's just like, oh, you just activated my trap card. I'm going to
basically.
use Star Blast attack. You've fallen into my trap. Not really. I got that special move off of dumb luck.
Which
I
never
could
made
miss.
sense. Which never made sense. They can hit him in the air in any direction, and somehow this Bay comes back in the perfect diagonal state to come down and hit you. I'm like, you got sent to this way. How are you flying back the same direction? This makes no sense. But okay, main character bullshit. Let's just go with that.
Yeah,
At the
that's
same
basically what
time,
it is.
Y'all remember the episode with the cage, and they put him in a cage?
Imagine if he would miss.
and he, oh god.
That's what I'm saying.
Didn't Zero miss that one time because Zero remade the Star Blast attack, but then he missed.
Yeah, he
and the
missed.
stadium was like broken up, like shattered.
Yeah.
That would have been basically what would have happened, and then his
No,
day would have
Jenga
spin.
would have fucked it up.
No, his day would have spin.
No, because Zero's a better main character. Jenga would have fucked it up.
Obviously, I'm just saying, like his bay would have either one crack the stadium or two break, or like after it hit the stadium, it would have did the same thing, like stop spinning. Just
Then Madoka would have been really pissed.
Boy, you're breaking your Bay.
Yeah, the freaking metal wheel is cracked. Oh god! And there's what is this gum?
Yo, I saw that. That blew my mind. Like, yo, this is a show where you have to take complete care of this thing. No, we're going to spin it in the forest. Okay.
Right, they're
We're going to
spinning
spin it
it
in
against-
on the water.
spinning it in trees, water. They battle like
She found a booger and then shit. It is shit. Like,
ew. They
what
they
are you
battle
doing to
they
us?
battle tornadoes. I mean, just saying, like, you know.
that's Kiyoya. He fights tornadoes.
He fought tornadoes with a spinning top.
It's like, oh, there's a tornado coming this way. I got it prepared. Ugh, destroyed.
But yeah,
It's just like
let's go with Galaxy Pegasus. The most absolute shit. We'll put rubbers on the shit list.
Okay, that's
rubbers for me was already shit. Like I hated rubbers even when I had Aquarium.
Storm Pegasus had more
hated
stamina.
rubbers.
than Galaxy Pegasus.
Well,
and in the show,
rubbers only come
so
used
much more
one
better.
way.
In the
I mean, Kevin, use protection. Seriously, talking about rubbers aren't useless.
no.
Come on.
You can't just raw dog it there.
This message brought to you by Ethamaka. No, all right.
like Trojan XTC condom.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I just threw.
Not those rubbers, but
But like
Back to
Here's what's
Galaxy
the reason
Trash
of rubber.
Pegasus.
Galaxy Trash Pegasus.
right.
Now, let me tell you guys a little bit of knowledge about rubber performance tips. We all know, and if you don't already know, you're gonna learn today.
I don't know. That obviously rubber tips give you an extreme amount of attack power very early on in the stage, but
Very, very shit stamina.
very bad stamina.
So you're not spinning. You only get 30 seconds of play time. You better win in 30 seconds of play time, or you lost.
I felt bad for the little kids that bought the first Metal Series Stadium where it came with just two rubber bottom bays. You're like, oh, this is fun. 30 seconds later, oh, I guess that's how the game is played, and then somebody shows up with a defense or stamina type, and you're like, shouldn't it stop spinning by now? Oh no, boy, you don't know.
Oh, you don't know. You got a rubber. I don't.
So take that in mind. Now, name one time Jenga has lost by a spin finish, aka a sleep out. Or,
Never.
simpler terms, he stopped spinning. Not because he lost, because he got knocked out of the stadium, not because he took enough damage, because he simply did not have enough power.
Or stamina.
Never. There's always been. You would see
And
the
that was
base
unrealistic.
slowly going down, and out of nowhere, he's like, I need the strength to win with you, Pegasus. And
And
it
then
would
it
just
boost up.
in speed and just run wild. I'm like, at least they made the final drive in the next series to make sense for that, but no.
Yeah, like it didn't
Still
really
garbage.
make sense in the first.
I mean, it's better than
anime.
Galaxy.
Yeah, it was better than
Cosmic
Galaxy.
is better than Galaxy.
But I'm just like,
But
Still
at the same
trash.
time, look, his special move was literally his babe running around the stadium in a circle to create a vacuum. Oh wait, to create a tornado. In fact, oh wait, who did that first? Tyson.
Yep. Most definitely.
This dude tried to. This was basically a person that was trying to beat Tyson.
Yep.
But had a OP win-loss record.
To be honest, I really feel like
100%. 100. What?
He lost.
I
what,
really
like,
felt like
2 or 3 battles.
Tyson.
Yeah, I remember you looked up yourself.
Looked it
You're
up.
like 99% of the battles he won.
Yeah, 99.
Probably 0.5.
99, probably 98, but 99 still hot.
I mean, come on.
Now,
Anything past 90, it's like really.
Anything past 90 is
And then all of his, most of his losses weren't even official battles. They were just, hey, there's a new character and he loses to them because they're new and strong. Oh no, now we have to bring him in. Tournament starts. Oh, now Jenga's stronger because we need him to win for the tournament.
Right.
Right.
And then you got characters of Masamune that could literally floor his ass.
Yeah,
And has.
Masamune could have been the better protagonist. Why they stuck with Jenga,
Because
I
a
never know.
unicorn sucks compared to the Pegasus. That's what they thought.
No, unicorns
But I
are
love
freaking
unicorns.
awesome. A Pegasus can fly away, but if you clip the wings
Every
and
fluffy
the
girl I
unicorn
know
straight
loves
spears it.
unicorns. They should be winning.
I mean,
But
that's why I had Ray Striker. That's why I have now coming to me today, unlike Unicorn. So
Awesome.
it's just
I'm
freaking
just
ridiculous, man.
But for
And
real
then
though,
for
if we
Tyson,
had to compare main protagonists in a battle,
oh okay.
to be honest, I really think Tyson would only have trouble with Zero. For me, at least, only with Zero because Zero actually, he trains, he gets new techniques,
Right.
he changes up the strategy sometimes. He does that a little bit, so he has somewhat of a learning potential. So I think Tyson would only have a little bit of trouble, not a lot, but just a little bit of trouble with Zero, not that much.
it depends on and it also depends on several things.
Are we including burst? Are we including the fact that Valkyrie can burst? Or are we just gonna make him unable to be bursted like their base?
If
guess
we
the
put
variables are in
if we
there,
put
right?
into the
That's
fact that if Vault was unable to be bursted
Right,
as a
right.
regular Beyblade, I
Are we
could
doing,
say
and another thing. Are we doing main characters? Are we doing as in the world, as their universe, or their actual base? Because actual Bay-wise, Valkyrie would be better if it could not burst. Pegasus has very little stamina. So does Ifrit, thank you. And
Ifrit has a lot more stamina than
Valkyrie. Valkyrie has more stamina than that.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
But
if you
include like power wise, Valkyrie can't take that many hits. So Dragoon, I'm still giving the win to Dragoon.
Okay.
Because one, and like Dragoon has like the advantage here. He's like out of all the other main characters, he's the only left spinning main character. He's the only left spinning main character out of all the other protagonists who are right spin and had a left spinning antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
So I really feel like my boy, Tyson is not gonna lose, especially with the spin stealing.
I also
ability.
find that hilarious how in all the other shows, I don't know what Burst is gonna do yet. They do have left spinning bays now, but we don't know what have they done in the show yet. But in Zero G and not Zero G, Shogun Steel in the Metal Saga, we've had characters just come in. Oh my God, he has a left spinning bay. How is that even possible? In the original series, it was. Oh, okay, his base spins to the left. Okay.
It was a thing, It was a thing, and like, oh my God, it's so rare. It's so rare, But then, left spin now.
It's a 50% chance that you'll get a left spinning bay or a right spinning bay. Right. There's a 50% chance.
Right.
If you don't learn mid battle that his bay is spinning to the left, like Tyson did, then you're probably not going to be prepared for it.
Right.
Hold on. I can just see this how Jenga and freaking Zero just freak out at the saying Dragoon spin to the left. They're like, what is this? And then they just get blown back in that same moment.
Jenga's gonna be like, I thought only they were left spin Beyblader. What's Ryuga?
And then you just look at everybody looks at Jenga. Jenga, we have Julian. We have what's his name? Julian, we had
King.
King very Yaris can spin to the left. And in the Metal series we had what's his name?
Ronin Dragoon.
Ronin Dragoon and Sakios. I'm like,
which was an homage to the original Dragoon.
Right. But the way he kind of go about it, I was like, I don't like you. But I like the left spinning bay itself. Now, can we all agree that over the years, left spinning bays got nerfed? Over the years. Because in the original bays, if you ever played with the originals, left spins versus all the other like right spins or whatever, OP as hell. They were OP, like especially when I used them when I was like living back in New York. They were OP, but when I started using left spin bays of the newer generations versus the right spin bays, there was like this overbearing. Oh, right spin bays are now better than the left spin bays, even though the left spin has a certain ability to negate
the spin of right spin.
Right. And I was like, well, what's going on here? What's that? I felt like they got a nerf. More fairness
to like the creators of the creators of the Beyblades were just there were so few left spinning bays that you would probably find a lot of right spinning bays that just overpowered them because
everybody was so prepared for it now after what
3? We had 3. Well, if you include all the variations of El Drago, we had 4. We had probably like 6 or 7.
I mean, it wasn't. To me, it was just like this. And I guess this is kind of Jenga's fault. I'm gonna blame this on Jenga and probably Doji, but mostly Jenga,
right?
Because they saw if people saw that El Drago. I mean, most people could tell you that if they've Beybladed before, they more than likely might have had El Drago once in their life, and they'll tell you how much they wreck people with it. However, once people started seeing that, oh, Jenga, this piece of shit of a main character, but, wins all the time, beats this dude, okay, he found a way around it, so there must be a way around it, right? So, since there was only one bay to worry about that had left spin at the time, people were just like, okay, I could practice for left spin, but just in case somebody has an El Drago, let me keep this ace in a hole technique for this specific bay. And then I got a good wing. But if I have a stamina type.
But the thing was, though, in the first generation, left spins wasn't such a rare thing. Left spins wasn't such this one guy has it and I can't beat him. Let me develop a technique to beat him, and boom. Right spin bays could regularly beat a left spin and vice versa in the old generation. Therefore, there was no technique for one or the other. It was just, who was better or who had
that's
more technique.
Thing I noticed when I was
but then they changed the game up. They changed the game up. And so my favorite spinning bay became crap until I created a combo. And I still haven't, found the one for burst yet for me because I haven't got my hands on it yet. But still, you start, like for me, once you start left, you stay left. You don't go right, and that's not what I'm doing.
That's your tradition?
Yeah, that's my tradition. Like, I would use a right spin bay from once in a while, but I'm trying to stay how it was before, especially since my first bay was Cyber Dragoon.
Well, Kevin,
like legit.
You're thinking the right way.
Actually, I think he's right. I think Cyber Dragoon was right spin, but I had to double check on that. I'll double check on that. I think actually Cyber Dragoon was right spin. The counter act. But it didn't matter because it didn't matter what way he was spinning. You can't really hit him because he was so freaking tall. But
that was true.
I had the combos though. The combos I had for that was just amazing.
Now, one thing I do notice, I wish. Well, Burst is still going on. It's going to be going on for a while.
Yeah.
But after Burst, if they do decide to make another Bay series and another type of generation of Bays, I would like to see a Bay where it wouldn't. Well, we've seen it in the Metal series plenty of times, but it wouldn't matter which way you spent it. I want a Bay where you could just plug the launcher in, and whatever way your ripcord was facing, that's the way your Bay would spin, and it just wouldn't make a difference in between left or right. You would just spin it the way you would want to.
That'd be a good evolution.
Right. That would actually be a very broken protagonist, to be honest.
No, that
would be a protagonist that is like, okay, you're a left spinning Bay. Oh, doesn't matter. I can spin it that left or right as well. So just I'm prepared for basically anything. And even if he was prepared for anything, his mindset would have to be, okay, train, think of new strategies to beat certain spins or certain techniques, and always make himself get better. Just like how Shu sort of kind of does his training and stuff. The main protagonist would have to be like that, or at least
bullets,
or at least like Masamune. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it seems like that would require them to just completely rip open everything from the universe itself if they were going to do something like you were talking about and just expand it.
They've done it once,
basing the entire world.
You saw how explosive that was.
Yeah,
then when they did it once in the first time, I think it was in the Metal series.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it was explosive, really explosive.
Gravity Perseus could switch in its modes, but Barriers is just you can just plug it into any launcher and it would spin which way you wanted it to.
Which was awesome. And then
they also made it be able to switch its type, so it could be attack, defense, stamina. They made a main character like that. That would be a very interesting story, and make him a main character with he can have friends, but just don't give him so many as the main characters that we have had. Just maybe 2 friends that just show up here and there. He's on a journey by himself, and he goes against a ton of really important characters, and you're just so what type is he going to use today? What spin is he going to use today? That would make
and then he has to go around learning each type of Beyblade, or matter of fact,
that would be awesome. Learning
even if it's just him not having one Bay, I would actually like it. Better
learning each Bay and its certain stats and how each work. Basically understanding each stat. He's going around. Today I'm gonna try to understand what stamina is. And he's gonna go learn all about stamina. Then he's gonna okay, defense. Then he's gonna go attack. And then the most obvious one, which is the balance type, which blocks everything, but not good at everything.
Right.
So. Learning that, and most definitely, see, my specialty is the balance types, because balance types are the most broken Bay combinations ever, especially if you make sure that each stat that you're plugging into it is high enough to counteract someone that's high attack or high defense.
But it also takes a lot of skill as well.
So what is your favorite type? What would your favorite mix of the types? Would you just do balance, or would you have a specific one?
It comes to a difficult decision for me about type specifics, because part of me likes the defense types, part of me likes stamina types, but I like the overall aggression
of an attack
type.
That's what me. I love stamina types because I love spinning long, but I love the aggression of attack types. Defense types, I can get around with them. I like some of the designs of them, but them themselves I do not like.
I like defense types. Not much. It's not so much as though I could take a whole lot, so I don't have to have a problem. But the potential to it still has a certain potential to, deal
Dish
damage
out.
as well.
Right.
Maybe not as much as an attack type, but as
Oh yeah, true.
but
Yeah.
not as well. It's kind of great for me. So I guess I could say I like defense types more than any other type, and most of the the type of Beyblade I make aggressive esque defense types.
Oh yeah,
Like
he
Leon
really
in the
does.
beginning.
Yeah, like
the
Leon in the
first
beginning.
Leon.
But and I call them barrage types because it's not so much as they're not trying to one shot you. They're trying to do
Multiple
constant
hits
attacks.
to damage and weaken you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with my base. Like, you want more defense. When I go with my attack stamina combinations, it's more so of I want to be able to hit you as hard as I can to knock you out. And if I don't in those first couple of hits, I want to have enough stamina to survive while I'm not hitting you as hard. So I'll hit you hard, and then you'll be like, well, I'm still in here. I'm like,
That's
okay,
why I like
still
the
got
Unite
stamina.
driver is like good for him.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would have to so that would the new protagonist potentially, even though this is going to do really, really good, they're always going to want to continue the series and make a new thing. So that the protagonist that we just mentioned would be a pretty kick-ass, protagonist that everyone would relate to and want to watch, and
or even more so, if he doesn't have a Kenny, have him at least
Be the Kenny?
be the Kenny.
right? Be Kenny.
I want
and-
a
The
I want a
opportunity
Kenny
is,
character.
yeah. I mean, they should be able to see what people want over time.
Technically, what we described would be a Kenny, because if he would have to understand all 4 types and then be able to customize his bay accordingly, would have to be a Kenny in itself. Like the smart guy that's gonna use his brains and his bay's abilities to the fullest, basically, while also training.
Until he comes together to make his own perfect Beyblade just for him.
Right.
But he'll also have to learn the lesson of it's not just about the Beyblade. It's about the blader.
Right.
But we already got that enough of that message from Jenga.
Oh, fuck.
God damn.
It's the Blader spirit!
Ew.
Where's your... Tyson's gonna go like, oh, it's the Blader... Well, Jake's gonna be like, it's the Blader spirit. Tyson's gonna be like, yeah, where's your skill at, bro?
And then you just see Zero in the corner like, you can't make fun of Jenga-sama! Oh, Jenga! And then you see his vault just standing in the other corner, just, rush! I'm like, what are you doing? I'm just here to play.
You just like, Tyson's just like, what the hell happened to
I'm
our
intrigued
generation?
by...
What's going on with our generations?
What happened to us?
Oh,
He's like, Ray, you seeing this shit?
Kenny,
oh my God.
yo, I want to
And
see...
you just see Kai and Shu just in like a coffee shop, just chilling.
Kai's like...
doing anything. They're just like, your base red,
Yep.
your base blue.
Totally.
I got a a fusion tip. It's rubber and plastic.
Oh, that's new.
I got 3 tips, so I don't even fuck. I don't
right.
fucking care, man.
That's what he would say, because he has like the
I
sharp,
got
the rubber
3
and the
tips,
flat.
man.
Right.
I don't
Right.
fucking care. I'll go attack, stamina, balance, whatever. I'm a balance type. Like, oh, you got a balance type too? Great. It's fantastic. I do it better. That's bad.
But, yeah.
No, look, and then in the battle with all of them, you just see freaking Tyson bring out Dragoon, and you're just like, Vault just looking at him like, the fuck is that? And it's like, you don't see when Valkyrie shows up, that's just, the solid vision. It's not real. It's like, no, these are real monsters inside of our base. What the fuck is this game?
Yeah, in the original, and like to be honest, in the original Beyblade, real beasts, mystical beasts of old that I want to say the reason why they ended up in the bay is like they died, but they had such a strong will that they ended up in the bay itself.
I think it's
or
a
whatever.
reincarnation type thing.
Basically, but like
The movie
you know
actually
how
talked about
Dragoon, that Dragoon was in the family's sword for like generations, like this, like the family sacred heirloom, because that sword was the sword that either was able to kill it or it was just the Dragoon spirit was able to help them and empower it.
I think it was sealed in the sword.
Yes, either that too. So
then,
all of that, and then like I guess something happened to the sword, and it went into the bay. So that my
was
thing
cool.
was like
Another thing with the Metal series, their bays were also from the stars. They fell down from the stars and made the bays of the day, and all the constellations were inside of the bays. When you go to Burst, they're just, I bought this at the store. This is my bay. This is
The
spring.
spirit comes from within.
yeah, basically that's what they're saying. Basically in the new one, in the Burst, basically the spirit is made from the main character itself,
right.
and basically it embodies in the bay, and the bay is like, okay, now I'm a
Persona.
Thing. Now,
I just want to see Shu throw on a pair of glasses, even with his scar, and just go like, Persona. Now, spring on.
No,
that yeah.
Another thing I want to see from the
Uses
series.
Zeodine or Adi.
Y'all remember Beat 'em On?
Oh yeah.
The show Beat 'em On. How he didn't. Well, he did, but some people.
I watched the original one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I know about, Beat 'em On and Beat 'em On Crossfire. Well, not really.
Hold on, that would have to be for like
Crossfire. Well, Crossfire, he chose his Beat 'em On. He went to the store and picked it out. I want to see a Beyblade series like that. Whereas we get to see the main character, a brand new blader, just decide at a store or somewhere, just, hey, these are some pieces. Here, put your Bay together, and he becomes a main character that way. I don't want to see a character, again, just like, this Bay I had since I was so young, and it's been with my family for this many generations. And
right. Yeah, I mean, the opportunity of doing that idea is that, of course, you get a lot more people interested in just going to a store and doing that.
Right.
That's the opportunity, getting
I'm
more
just
of an
going to get
audience.
my Bay
interested
points
in
and buy more parts at the store.
Exactly.
Right.
Do that shit.
And I already got Bay points in this show. Well, in the last show. In this show.
Right.
Actually, they don't have them in this show.
They don't really. They don't show it off.
They don't show.
They have Bay loggers, so you have to.
In real life, not in the show.
Yeah, they have Bay loggers in the show.
They do.
They have.
Yeah, but it's not
that's how
You
really-
don't count the points? I don't never see
They don't
that.
see the
It's
points.
not right.
You don't see the points.
Right.
But we know what they do in real life, so it has to. So
Yeah, I mean, like, they glow. I like the thing that is like red, yellow, and then green when you're about to actually pull the string. I like that. That was cool.
we had. Here's what they didn't necessarily. They don't explain what the Bay loggers do in the anime because it's not really important in the anime. But we know what they do in real life, and you know how the
Do you
anime
think
takes
America's
a,
going to bring it over?
Hell no. They have. A matter of fact, they have it. They're not going to because you know what else? They don't have that shit in the boxes.
Oh, okay.
So they don't got that shit.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Right,
why. It's money.
Hasbro is not
money.
doing.
Money.
Hasbro is not doing.
They don't care about our Beyblading needs and having to keep track of points and how fast we can spin.
That's another thing I also noticed.
Technically-
when you come to like collectible things, like from shows or anything that you get from a show, in Japan, where the original show came from, they cater more to kids too, but they also cater to the people that's older. They're like, hey, this thing that makes sounds in the show or does this in the show, we're going to make a toy version, and it does that. In America, we're only pertaining to the kids, so we don't care what they think of the show, what the thing should do. They're just going to play with it and be like, yay, it's fun.
I mean, the only place that you can find something like that in America is Star Wars. Where you're okay with having a lightsaber. I'll go around
Your
making
own
noise.
lightsaber.
But if
Great.
it's a Beyblade, no, that's for kids, guys.
Right.
No, I mean, obviously the culture needs to change on that.
They're
but,
like, that is a dangerous toy there, young sonny here. But
shut up, Billy.
they want to talk about dangerous toys, as Beyblade wise. Get a Bay Warrior. They are sold for like $1.
Oh damn!
Rev that shit up and then put that to your forehead where your hair would be.
Yo, cleanest shave ever.
Clean
Let
as
me
shit.
tell you, my boy did a shape up with that. That is
was like-
legit dangerous as hell. No one should be
Got a
using
good
those.
rev going?
If you can do a shape up with a toy, God.
Now you know what Japan made that was not catering to the adults, fan, and they just made it strictly for kids.
What?
Bay wheels.
Right.
Bay wheels were the trashiest thing I've ever seen, and they're just wheels. They don't do anything they did in the show. You don't have the ring for them. It's not even a ring. It's a ramp that they just run into, and that's it.
So they're basically Hot Wheels.
Yeah, not even that.
They just fly off. They just fly
not
off.
Hot
the-
Wheels.
They fly off.
Fly
ramps.
wheels.
Right, they just fly off ramps. That's basically all it is.
Flywheels, except not using actual rims, but customizable parts.
They spun like this. They weren't like that. They were literally wheels.
Right.
They
Okay.
burst up.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I tried to modify the launcher so I can use it as a bait launcher, but
Nah.
Right. Wait.
All right, so I feel like we should. So yeah, all these topics we just talked about. You got anything else to say? Like the topic?
So basically, that pretty much wraps up almost, at least first
This
segment
awesome.
of this awesome thing that we have been talking about. And we've cut into a lot of different topics. We have more for you. So
of course.
Don't touch that dial. Don't touch that channel. Click the little next button in that playlist.
Yeah.
And
All right.
like, subscribe. It's been Jet Harris
Faf Dragonoid.
Inferno Blaze.
And at Democracy.
and signing out, everybody. Peace, and as always, Ninja out.